Hello everybody, I'm so excited for this new video today. Welcome to everybody who are new here on my channel. It's an honor to receive you. My name is Ellie. I will be your guide for this reading today. So today's reading is about spirit guides and who they may be. What kind of spirits do you have by your side at this time? Because spirit guides, they are not always what we imagine them to be. Sometimes we believe that we will have the same sort of spirit guide with the same sort of specific avatar from the beginning till the end of our life, and it's not necessarily always the case. So there are, yes, those spirit guides that will stick around for you for your specific incarnation, for one lifetime, from the day you were born until the end. Some spirit guides sometimes do that. Then there are other spirit guides as well that only stick around for a specific lesson that we need to learn in our life, and after that they move on. And then there are those other spirit guides as well that have been probably sticking, and this is a rarer case, but it has been coming up in this reading, so I wanted to mention it. But sometimes there are spirit guides that have been sticking around with us for even lifetimes. So I want to open your mind today about the idea of your guides being maybe sort of different than sometimes what we might hear out there, because spirit guides, they can be all sorts of energies. And sometimes when we think of a spirit guide, we will think about this, fluffy, luminous, and angelic being. And yes, sometimes it can be the case, but spirit guides can be all sorts of energies. Sometimes they are lighter, sometimes they are darker, sometimes they are higher in vibration, sometimes they are lower in vibration. And it doesn't mean that it's good or that it's bad or that you have a better spirit guide than someone else. Not at all. It just simply means that there are different spirit guides for every type of needs and every type of being. So I wanted to make this clear today because I know that it has been coming up through the different paths, all of the different paths. They have a very specific different energy, and so I wanted to clear this out of the way before we start with a meditation and a path selection and everything. I also want you to know that today my goal is not to really determine a specific like the appearance of your guide or anything, because I believe that this is something very personal to you. Spirit guides, they normally take on the form that feels most familiar or comfortable to us, and sometimes they will take in the form that we give them, and that's because energy is boundless, right? Energy is fluid, and energy, it cannot be boxed into a certain avatar or appearance. And some spirit guides, sometimes they never had any incarnation here on earth at all. And so that is why they will take sometimes many different forms, like the form of an animal, the form of a humanoid. Sometimes they will be, they will look sometimes even like nothing we have seen before. So yeah, I really wanted to educate you on that before I start, because I know that there are a lot of videos already out there on YouTube about spirit guides, and so far I have seen only very few that were really tackling this subject. So yeah, here you go, you have it. So if you're ready for the reading now, let's take you to my altar right behind me, and I will present to you the paths that I have for you today. Welcome to the path selection, everybody. So before I start, let me just say a very quick disclaimer, like I always do. Please note that this is just a general reading. So of course, it will not resonate with just everybody, but it was crafted to resonate with the people that it is meant to reach. So this being said, there's probably still a message meant to find you in there, and maybe that you will come out of them with some value nonetheless. So please note that I'm just another human being, just like you guys. And therefore, my interpretations, although they come from the best of places, although they come from my heart to yours, they are still not the absolute. So please take in what resonates and leave behind the rest. And that's perfectly fine by me. So if you're ready, this is part 1. This is part 2. This is part 3. And this is part 4. So I thought that today it would be quite fun to help you choose the pile that you feel most intuitively drawn to with judgment cards, because the judgment card in tarot can definitely allude to the assistance of our spirit guides nudging us and trying to direct us or send us messages. So you have here judgment cards from 4 different tarot decks, and what I will ask you to do right now is to tune in with your sixth sense, with your intuitive presence, and to pick the one that you feel most drawn towards. So once this is done, head out into the description box down below and you will find a timestamp associated with each pile. So just click on the timestamp associated with the pile you have selected and it will take you directly, it will make you jump forward into your reading basically. So I will now offer a 30-second meditations to help you tune in with the energy of this reading and of each individual pile. So if you're ready for the meditation, please find a comfortable position where you can relax. And you can keep your eyes open because you will have to choose the pile that speaks to you the most. So if you are ready, let's start by calling in the spirits of the sacred space and let's begin. Watch out for your ears, you guys. Welcome, pile 1. This is going to be a reading about who your spirit guides might be. And I just want to say before I start that I'm reading for a lot of people here at the same time. So yeah, I'm sorry already if I'm picking up on some people's energy more than others, or if I target a specific group of people. But I trust that you will know if the messages in there are meant to find you. But if it doesn't resonate, that's completely good. Don't try to make it fit. There are so many readings out there about this subject already, and this is only my personal channeling session with the cards, meant to find the people who are of equal energetic match to absorb them. So without further ado, I have separated this reading into 3 different sections for you. We are going to start by checking the energy of whatever guide of yours is really stepping through the most today, the one that wants to come into contact with me, because I'm pretty sure that you have more than one guide by your side. And then after that, we're going to see what the message, what the mission is of this guide. What sort of mission is this guide assigned to help you fulfill in your life at this time? So their role with you at this specific chapter of your life. And then after that, in the final section of the reading, we're going to take a look at how this guide communicates with you, how you may contact them as well, how you can tend to this relationship, because I am the medium for this reading, but I would really hope for you that after this reading, you will feel inspired to start developing this awesome relationship with them, hopefully by keeping contact with them on your own from now on as well. And then we are going to tap into how they interact with you in your life as well, what sort of presence and impact that they have in your life, how they are working with you, so that you can identify the signs and their energy at play a little bit better in your life. So if you're ready, let's get started. First card that we have for you is the thread. Then after that, we have the bridge. And then we have, look at that, the crone. Crone energy is here in your reading. Then after that, we have the snake as a spirit animal. And then we have the unicorn as a spirit animal as well. Interesting. So already the snake or the unicorn could be spiritual animals or power animals for you, my pal one. There is something so strange here. It seems like you and this guide have this sort of energetic link or bond together already, pal one. So maybe you are someone that is already working a lot, interacting a lot with your guides. Maybe that you seek their counsel already quite often, or maybe that you have always been aware that there was this particular type of spirit that kept following you around since quite a while now. Maybe that this is even one of the reasons why you have stumbled across this video. Maybe it's because you can feel this very strong, dominating energy right next to you. So that is very interesting to me because I feel this strong link that you have established with this guide. And either that's because you have summoned them consciously or unconsciously already in your life. But one thing for sure, I really feel that this spirit had an incarnation here on earth. And I don't think that this is someone you have necessarily known during their lifetimes, but I feel that this guide is particularly attached to you. This is what I see with this card of the bridge and the thread. And the Ouroboros as well, the snake that is eating its own tail. The spirit is very attached to you, and I feel this strong connection or sort of bond between you two. So that's pretty special right away. And I'm wondering right now, and this is only going to make sense if this is a raw pal for you, but I'm wondering if some of you guys maybe always had this strong spiritual connection to a specific faith. Maybe even to your ancestors. Maybe that some of you are witches, sorcerers, pagan practitioners, or maybe that you are practicing even the faith or religion of your lineage. But I'm saying that because I feel that for a lot of you guys, this guide is a very old ancestor of yours. For a couple of you guys, this could as well be like a grandmother or a grandfather that you felt very close to during their living time. And I feel that this person had a long life somehow, especially if you had a grandparent that was extremely close to their own faith and who maybe transmitted a lot of their own faith down to you, maybe, no matter what sort of religion or spiritual practice they engage with. But for a lot of you guys, I feel that you haven't necessarily met this ancestor though. I feel that for the rest of you, this is somebody way down your lineage that connected to you because of how much your spirits are both so alike, because of this spiritual link, if you will. But no matter what, and my candle is making a lot of smoke like crazy right now. But no matter what, I'm feeling here that this ancestor is utterly connected to you, especially through your faith, because of this crone card, through the heritage that you are keeping alive and celebrating in their name even. It's almost like this guy took an interest in you because of this faith that you practice, or that is perhaps close to what they were practicing at the time, or maybe because of what and who you are, because I keep receiving that this particular guide identifies with you a lot, and that is why they have decided to stick with you and sort of like open this bridge of communication and channel a lot of guidance through you. So another thing coming through strongly to me here is that this guide feels a bit darker in energy somehow to me, like it's lower in vibration. And it's nothing to worry, like, don't worry. This is not something bad, nor is this something good, honestly. I personally view energy like a neutral spectrum, and it's us humans that most of the time like to label energy, right? So we like to put a like or a dislike stamp on things, but separating energy in between good and bad always felt so human to me, because it is what the ego does, right? The ego creates a lot of separation between what is good and what is bad for us, because it needs to identify to certain things in order to survive. But I personally view it kind of like a radio, where there are those lower frequencies and then there are those higher frequencies, and there are all of those other channels in between as well, in the middle. And higher doesn't necessarily mean good to me, and lower doesn't necessarily mean bad, or at least in my own experience of reading energies. It's just that energy, kind of like people, we all operate on different vibrational levels. And for when it comes to guides, there are those guides that I personally notice are more luminous in their energy, while some are a bit darker in their energies. And it's, again, it's nothing to worry. It doesn't mean that this is a malicious spirit that you have by your side. Not at all. All guides are helpers, you guys. Just like the earth vibrates on a very low frequency, and a planet Earth isn't evil. It's just that there are all types of guidance for all types of humans, and it all depends on the type of help that we need in a moment. I know that for myself, I have darker spirits on my side as well as more luminous ones as well, and I know that they are all equally harmless and benevolent, and I think that I'm doing just fine, so don't panic. But normally when I sense that, when a spirit, when I sense some sort of spirit of lower frequency like that, this is because either that this is a being that had a specific incarnation here on Earth not so long ago, and so their energy is still somewhat attached to that lower plane, or that's because this is an energy specifically attached to my querent. And normally when I sense this lower frequency, an energy that is closer to this plane, that's because we are speaking of the energy of a deceased. Most often, a being that has this strong attachment to the earth's vibration still. So this guide in particular feels like that to me. They feel to me like a spirit that took a deep interest in you, Pal One, and that wants to help, either because this could be a blood relative of yours, like I have mentioned, either because you guys had this relationship going on during their living time, or because this is a spirit that recognizes a lot of their own past selves through you. So a spirit that sorts of relives their past very much through you and through your spiritual practice. Sometimes us humans, we also call upon particular spirits, sometimes even celebrities or historical figures that we like, and sometimes those energies, they can link to us in this way and become like some sort of guide for us. And like I've said, there's nothing to worry. You're in very good hands here. And in fact, that is an extremely spiritually enriching and ancient guide even that you have here by your side, is what I'm feeling. Their energy feels very old to me, very experienced. This is an old soul who most likely had a lot of incarnations here on Earth. And they even feel ascended spiritually to me, is what I feel with this unicorn. Because this unicorn card is related to the spirit body. So this spirit, whoever they were in their living time, they were extremely tapped into the spirit realm in their own way, especially through their third eye. You know, when we speak of ascended masters, it's almost the same feeling that I'm having here. I feel that my witches who have chosen the spell, you guys have a powerful crone beyond this plane from your own line that is helping you tap into your own magic, your own power and rituals, who are downloading a lot of ancestral knowledge about these things to you. For those of you who are Christians or who practice any specific religion, I really see here that this kind is almost like a saint figure that comes from way back down your ancestry. And that is so specific, and I apologize, but that is what I feel. I feel that my pile one, you guys were born with this very active third eye, and it sort of opened you up to the spiritual plane and to your own spiritual path and gifts quite early on. So this guy, during their living time, was drawn to the same things as you. And that's why they have found you at this specific crossroad in your life where you started unfolding spiritually and deconditioning your mind quite a lot. And it's because they have, and during this time basically is when they have taken this role of mentor almost to you. But let's see now what this guide spiritual assignment is with you, what they are helping you with right now in your life. So let's see what we have here. We have the card of study. So it says, let my mind be clear and strong. Let me study well and long. And then we have a card of energy, and it says, a light inside my fire divine. Energy fill me, make me shine. And then after that, we have the card of recurring dreams. And we have the card of gift. Wow. Okay. So what the fuck? I'm so done with you guys. So what was I even saying? This guide has found you at a place in your life where you started to flourish and open up spiritually more. Maybe even when you started getting spiritually curious or conscious, perhaps that there was this particular event in your life that triggered this sort of third eye to open for you. When you sort of started asking yourself deeper question about the purpose of your life, about the life after death, maybe even. But then I actually feel that for most of you guys, you were sort of born this way. Like, you were born naturally more in tune with your spiritual nature than most. You were born with great gifts, even that you never really understood or harnessed fully quite yet. And this guide has taken the role of this experienced teacher for you guys to study those gifts and study your own energy and this purpose that is tied to your abilities that you came to exercise here on earth. So some of you guys may have just discovered your spiritual path lately or got acquainted recently with the more spiritual dimension of your life. Or otherwise, if you have already been very spiritual for a while now, that is when you have had your first major spiritual awakening that this guide was summoned into your life, and where it really got attracted to your energy. You really gained the interest of this guide that sort of decided to take on this role of crone for you, so that you could pull from their wisdom and their knowledge and experience for when it comes to your own rituals, your prayers, your beliefs, your meditations, no matter what practicing your faith means to you. But that is so crazy, Pawan, because I keep feeling with your cards, like, you know, like the first time that I felt when I was 10 years old and got introduced to real witchcraft for the first time. So I guess that it doesn't come as a surprise for you by now, if I reveal how pagan as fuck I always have been. But yeah, it reminds me of the first time I have actually been initiated or introduced to spirituality in a sense. So it's like this feeling of wonder, of knowing that there are so many new things to learn and to understand more deeply. So some of you guys perhaps are baby witches right now, or being initiated towards your own spiritual path, if you will. I don't like, I don't like the term baby witch very much, and I don't really like to label things normally in this way. But that is witchy energy somehow that I'm feeling here very much with this pile. Sort of like unorthodox spiritual culture, if you will. But some of you had witchcraft actually in your lineage, or some form of ancestral pagan practice, most likely. And this guide, it came to show you the way towards your own magic, in a sense, to assist you in unlocking your own power, your own gifts, and how to study all of that about yourself, the design of your soul and of your personality. Because as I always say, make no mistake that your personality is the core energy of who you need to incarnate and be in this physical realm in order to fulfill your highest purpose here on earth. And this guide is there by your side to help you study that, is what I see here. Your spiritual, your first spiritual awakening really left this trail behind that led you towards the investigation of who you are. And many of you have always known that you were a sensitive, or that you were picking up on a lot of these different energies around you with this kind of energy. But perhaps that you never fully grasped what this was supposed to mean in your life and about yourself. And if this guide came to assist you in studying those gifts to the point that you can understand them, know them, and use them, that's to better your life in this world, Pawan. That's to leave it a better place than when you first came into it. And another thing coming through here with this card of recurring dream is that many of you had this ancestor visit you or deliver you messages during your dreams recurrently or in the past. Perhaps even that you had a dream before about the old times where this ancestor appeared, or where you saw this ancestor's life and faith. Because I keep seeing like a ritual space here, as though the power of ritual has been really important back in your line at some point. But while you sleep is normally where this guide gives you the most messages and steps through the most. That is the time where they know you feel most open to download all of the knowledge that they have to provide you, or where you feel most receptive for that communication to happen. But let's see now how they actually communicate with you, what kind of role this guide is fulfilling in your life, and the sort of relationship dynamic, if you will, between the two of you. So the first star card that we have for you is Oppression Reversed, otherwise known as the Devil reversed in traditional tarot. Okay. So definitely this guide feels darker in energy to me, but I swear to God, you guys, it's not a bad thing. I swear. And look at that. As I'm speaking about that, we have the Five of Swords here. It's just that this guard is very in sword energy with you. They're really clear cut with you. And then look at that. We have the Lovers. So that is crazy, because we have the Lovers here in your reading, and the Lovers can definitely speak of ancestry sometimes, of how two different entities came together in order to produce a third one. And so that card, I feel, is confirmation to you that this guide feels attached through blood, in a sense, to you. Again, I feel that for a lot of you, this ancestor came from way back down your line, and they are part of your spirit team. But that is quite an interesting dynamic that I see here, because it's almost like you have this almost love and hate relationship, in a sense, with this guide that you entertain together. It's almost like sometimes you are so grateful for them and they feel like the best guide to have around, and other times they almost feel frustrating for you because of how stubborn they can be with you. Funny enough, with this kind of Oppression Reverse and Five of Swords. And I'm saying that because on the Lovers card, traditionally, this card almost depicts this sort of Garden of Eden energy, where there is this couple being united by this archangel in the sky. But then on the traditional image of the Devil's card, which is the card of oppression here in this deck, there is the same couple from the Lover's card, so like Adam and Eve, but they're kind of like chained at the bottom of this devil figure. They're like chained under the control and power of the devil. So this guide is quite a powerful presence in your life. They have this powerful presence to them that can sometimes make a lot of noise and wind inside of your life. If it often stands as your polar opposite as well, Pile 1, in order to challenge you with this devil reverse and this 5 of swords, and which is what the Lovers also represent to some degree, because the Lovers is also about marrying our opposites and polarities, because that is where our biggest, most life-changing growth actually lie at. So our biggest strengths in this life are always tied to our greatest weaknesses, as those trigger points are also our biggest opportunities to overcome our own inner demons. And that's so funny, because I was speaking about this week in a personal reading I have made for someone else, and how I personally have never agreed with those astrologers out there that are saying that our opposites in astrology are our worst match. I actually believe that our opposites are our greatest teachers in this life. And I am an Aquarius sun, and I know that Leo, being my opposite, has always been this sign that has challenged me the most in my life. You know, one of my biggest best friend in my life was a Leo sun and Leo moon, and we often challenged each other quite a lot. But it's also a sign that I feel extremely personally connected to. Ironically enough, through those challenges, I had the most massive growth with the help of my Leo friends. And even if I have no placements in this sign, and I feel that this is because I have so much to learn personally from Leo, and Leo has so much to learn from me as well. And that's normally the sort of dynamic and the sort of divine exchange that happens in between all students and teachers, right? So like I've said, this guide of yours feels a bit darker in energy to me, Pawan. And again, it's not because the spirit is bad, but it's because this energy brings you back towards your own shadow quite a lot, is what I see here with those two cards. And you see how, like, on those Lovers card, there's like this woman dressed in white and then this man dressed in black. So it's like they contrast each other in a sense. So this guide, they get you acquainted with your own shadow quite a lot. It brings you to territories where you have no choice but to surrender to your opposites and to your polarities with this 5 of swords in the middle. And that is why I'm saying that there is like this funny love and hate relationship in between you two. And again, it's nothing like to worry about. That's because this guide is an energy that often pushes you to your extreme limits sometimes. And again, that's kind of their love language to you. They came here to stand in contrast of you because they are teaching you to embrace everything you are uncomfortable exploring or expressing about yourself, Pawan. Because that is the journey towards wholeness with this card of the Lovers. This card brings you to encounter and meet the parts of you that feel a bit scarier, that feel like they aren't even you sometimes, as though they don't even belong to you. And that is normal. That's because our shadow is this part of us deeply buried into our subconscious side. And the subconscious is the part of us we spend a lifetime trying to separate from. And believe me when I say that. And that is why it is so freaking the journey of a lifetime to come to bring it to our consciousness again. And that is why when we are being confronted to it, or when someone else or a situation mirrors this part of us that is our subconscious into the conscious. We try to dissociate from it again. We refuse to see it as us, because how is it that something that we hate so much could be part of us? But we are all connected in a part of the same thing. With the lovers, the man and the woman are part of the same species. So that is so interesting, because this guide could sometimes feel to you like this darker twin with the lovers and this devil in reverse, like this figure in your life that keeps sort of arguing with you with this card of oppression reverse. This guy wants you to know that they aren't here to scare you or oppress you or to make your life a living hell, Pawan, but they are not apologizing for all of the times they had to be brutally honest with you and for being this loyal friend to you. They are not apologizing for the toxicity they have removed in your life in the past. No matter how you are trying to fight it off, kick or scream, this guy has got your back. And when you're trying to stand up against them, that is normally where they step back. I feel that this guy doesn't like to fight or create any sort of resistance with you. It's almost as in saying, all right, you know that you can do this better than me. You think that you know what's best. Then let's see how you will handle all of that on your own then. And it's not that they are upset with you or trying to punish you through that, but this spirit guide one step in the way of you having to learn your own lessons through experiencing your own mistakes firsthand. But you have to know, you have to know that this is actually because this guide loves you and deeply cares for you, Pawan. They love you so much that they can't stand seeing you live a lie. And that is why sometimes their guidance will come through as this piece of tough love and brutal advice. It's kind of funny because this guide is no bullshit. This guide understands the human experience quite well because they were here not too long ago. And so they are still close to this incarnation that they had here. And so it's almost like the language that they utilize with you sometimes, it's really funny because I feel that it's how you would speak to a friend or another person sometimes, like to your best friend with this lover's card. Like, listen, you bitch, you know what I mean? I always smile when that happens because sometimes when people think of a spirit guide, they think of those like angel-like beings with wings, eating cream cheese on a cloud with the spirit of Mother Teresa, you know? But that is not always the case. That is not what this guide is actually all about. This guide is like a friend to you that has your back and that will never bullshit you. And if it takes your life to turn upside down in order for you to understand that, if it takes them tormenting you in this way from the beyond in order to get the point they're trying to make across, they will do so. And that makes me laugh because it's not every guys that are this way, but it seems like this one is very much this way in a sense with you. You have a very funny guide here because I feel as though their way of communicating with you is humorous a lot of the time, and it's kind of like brutally honest. This guide is a straight shooter. I'm getting this strong clairaudient vibe here with this Five of Swords as well. I feel that most often when this guide speaks to you, it's either through your dreams, or it's through how they sometimes send you thoughts through your own voice. Maybe even that they communicate to you sometimes through the lyrics of the songs that you listen to. But they feel very vocal and communicative to me somehow, which feels pretty unique because, again, not all guides are that communicative, but this one truly is, which is pretty special. You can actually converse with this guide through your own mind and thoughts, actually, is what I feel. And sometimes you may not hear an answer back until later when you open a book or come across a specific post on social medias, maybe that will bring an answer sometimes to your questions. So it's so odd, but I really see this guide communicating a lot with you through that, through your thoughts and through third-party medias, like the voice of a stranger, or the things that you hear in your environment, or through technology, even through your the posts that you will see on social medias or the articles that you will come across, and that will resonate this deeper spiritually within you. But that is basically how I see this guide likes to communicate with you, Pawan, and what their energy actually feels like to me. So I hope that this reading could help you get to know better the incredible spirits that you have helping you by your side. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me and for making me your humble guide in this reading today. So for those of you who have been curious to check out my private tarot services, the link to my online tarot shop will be down below in the description box. And otherwise, I hope to see you back soon and that you will come hang out with me on the channel again. Bye bye, you guys. Welcome, Pal 2. This is going to be your reading about who your spirit guides might be. And I just want to say before I start that I'm reading for a lot of people here all at the same time. And so I'm sorry already if I'm picking up on some people's energy more than others, or if I target a very specific group of people here. But I trust that you will know if the messages in there are meant to find you. But if it doesn't resonate, that's completely good. Don't try to make it fit. There are so many other readings out there about the subject, and this is only my personal channeling sessions with the card, meant to find the people who are of equal energetic match, to hear them and absorb them. So without further ado, I have separated this reading into 3 different sections for you. So we are going to start by checking in the energy of whatever guide of yours is really stepping through here the most, the one that wants to come into contact with me, because I'm pretty sure that most likely you have more than one guide by your side, Pal 2. And then after that, we're going to see what type of mission this guide is assigned to help you fulfill in your life at this time, their role with you at this specific chapter of your life. And then after that, in the final section of the reading, we're going to take a look at how this guide communicates with you, and that will sort of indicate how you may stay in contact with them as well and grow this relationship with them, because I am the medium for this reading right now, but I would really hope for you that after this reading you feel inspired enough to start developing this awesome relationship with your own guides by keeping contact with them on your own from now on as well, because you can get to know your spirit guides better than any psychic, medium, or tarot reader out there. I guarantee you. And then we are going to also tap into how those guides interact with you in your life, what sort of presence and impact they have in your life, how they're working with you, so that you can identify their signs and their energy at play a little bit better. So if you're ready, let's get started. First card that we have for you is the Mirror. Then after that, we have the Vessel. Then the next card that we have here is the Healer. Then we have here for you as a spirit animal, the Otter. And then we have the Dolphin. How awesome is that? So Pal 2, the Dolphin and the Otter could be spirit animal or power animals for you. But with all of those energies present in here, we have a pretty fun and vibrant spiritual guide right there. They feel so high in vibration and frequency to me. That is like a significant jump from the last reading. I almost feel dizzy a little. Wow. So whoever this spirit guide is, I'm feeling that this is a very light-hearted and even humorous energy that you have by your side here, Pal 2. Maybe that we have a little bit of a trickster spirit guide here even. I'm seeing this guide mess around with your environment, or maybe even your field of view and energy quite a lot. My pal twos may be those types of people that see a lot of things going on from the corners of your eyes. I'm talking about shimmerings of light or reflections of light with this kind of the mirror, maybe even shadows passing through, or waving energy, sort of. I don't know if you guys saw that before. It's almost like something is constantly going on in your environment around you somehow, as though you could be wondering very often, wait, did I just see that? What is it that I just saw right there? I feel that you guys encounter this spirit guide visually quite often. You guys can actually see this guide, or at the very least, fragments of their energy, in a sense, passing through, or being there at your side. So this is a pretty active or interactive spirit guide. They may even engage with your physical environment quite a lot, where sometimes you may misplace things, you may lose things, or maybe that certain objects get misplaced around in your house quite a lot. You guys may even hear noises around your house quite often, and you know that this isn't necessarily tied up to a certain place, because those noises, they seem to keep following you around wherever you go somehow. If some of what I've just said resonate really much strongly with you, Bantu, then that's because you are experiencing this guide, trying to get your attention very much often, or make their presence known to you. But this one is funny because it won't leave you alone or in the quiet for too much time. You may even feel the spirit guide's presence by your side quite often. You know, when people say that even when they are alone, they never truly actually feel alone. That is how I feel here. But this guide is playful, kind of like an otter or a dolphin in a sense. And this spirit guide almost feel in particularly androgynous in their energy as well. And don't get me wrong, I personally normally consider spirit as gender free. However, when I speak of feminine and masculine, I speak of it on an energy level, kind of like we all have masculine and feminine energies within us, or a different balance of them within us. For when it comes to this guide, they almost feel like a perfect balance of both. You know, kind of like a child. Like children in general, before we decide to genderize them, and you know, before we start dressing a girl in pink or a boy in blue and give a Barbie to a little girl and a car toy to the little boy, I feel that, or at least to me, to my own experience, I feel that children are often a lot more closer from their own spiritual essence than us. Adults, we tend to become as we age, and that's why often children feel very androgynous to me in their energy. And that is how I feel the spirit guide in particular. They could even take the avatar of a child when they come and see you, but for the most part, I feel that this being is extremely high and even luminous in their frequency. They make me think of what people call angels. This guide could be sort of angelic in their presence, and they feel very spiritually evolved to me. I personally don't like to label energy like that, because I never personally resonated with the term angel either. To me, angels are just very high frequency beings, right? But it never really made sense in my own spiritual paradigm to label them in this way, in this name. But if you personally identify with that term and resonate with the word angel, then that's perfectly fine. This could be one of those for sure. This may even be a healing angel with this card of the healer and the vessel. However, I'm a bit puzzled about this here, because with this kind of the vessel, I truly feel that this guide, for a lot of you guys, most likely had a vessel here on earth. They had an incarnation here on earth. The spirit had a vessel here before, and it makes me smile because this is a spirit as well that is simply filled with enthusiasm and that is radiating this very positive, bright light energy. And they are very in your face too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to know that you guys have seen this spirit before, beyond just the shimmering lights that I was talking about earlier. But this could definitely be someone that had a life here, and that when they passed on, they have sort of ascended to this a sort of almost angelic spiritual being now. Spirit guides, they will always take on a form that is familiar to us. They will often take on whatever avatar we give them most of the time even. Not all guides are this way, but most of them, in my own experience. But another thing that I'm getting here about this guide, I'm sorry if all the information is scattered, it's just that I'm receiving so much, and it's not like following like a story, it's more like insights that I'm getting. But another thing that I'm getting through here about this guide is that this spirit guide speciality is definitely healing. This spirit guide is a powerful healer. That is their properties and their biggest gift to you. So they send a lot of healing energy towards you, it seems, from the astral whenever you are in need of that. Their energy is extremely caring, and they rejuvenate in a sense. They are also extremely gentle in the ways that they handle you too. And it's so funny because I sense that this guide normally makes a lot of noise in your life, and they make themselves very known to you. But then when you are emotionally, mentally, and physically battled, they really soften, and they become very enveloping with you, and they become very soft and gentle with you. It's like they warm up, and they have such this strong empathy for you, this relatability to you. I don't know why, but this guide may often touch you often as well. And don't worry, I don't mean it in a creepy, predatory way here, but I mean that they may poke you. Physically poke you or physically nudge you quite a lot. I just feel that this energy is very interactive with you and your environment. There are those guys out there that are a lot more quiet, shy, and subtle, and this one is not at all. If anything, it's almost like sometimes you almost need to shut them off consciously or put some boundaries here, or else they will keep draining a lot of energy from you because of how active that they can get. But let's see now how what this spirit's guide spiritual assignment is with you, actually what they are helping you with right now in your life. We have here, look at that. We have authenticity. How beautiful is that? And this card says, who I truly am is good indeed. I am authentic in thought, word, and deed. Then we have here the card of love. Aphrodite, I call to thee to bring a true love here to me. Beautiful. Then we have the card of innocence. Look, we have the card of health here. I'm so done. Wow, so I feel that this guide isn't just a healer in your life, Paltu, but they are also letting you draw from their own healing abilities as well, quite a lot. So my people who have intuitively felt drawn to Paltu, you guys may be healers, empaths, light workers, emotional supporters, or even perhaps motivational speakers even. This guide that you have by your side has strengthened or provided you with this very strong empathic skill to be able to tap into the essence of other living beings with this kind of authenticity and love, other fellow humans and even animals and plants. And they are here by your side to help you step into your mission with this ability very much, to put this skill into use. I feel that this is the assignment that they have with you actually at this time. It's to get you more in touch with your heart, with this card of love, with your own essence, with this card of authenticity, your own inner childlike sort of presence or innocence to you with this card as well. They are here to really get you in touch with your core emotions, with your sensitivity, basically, because that is the source fueling this power that you guys have. And you guys are actually healers. And I don't know if you actually know that about yourself quite yet, but I'm breaking this to you right now. Some of you have been wondering, why is it that you could vividly sense and get lost in other people's emotions sometimes? Why is it that it was always somehow harder for you to walk out of that conversation or walk out of people who were strongly emotionally afflicted? Sometimes it could get so bad that it could come in the way of you guys living a normal life even. And I know how this feels because personally, I was dealing with a lot of social anxiety and social anticipation when I was a teenager, until I realized a lot later, actually in my early 20s, that this was actually the symptom of my hypersensitive nature that was picking up on a lot of stuff. And that was actually getting tired and drained of being a vessel for all of other people's crap. Excuse my language. So you guys have been a vessel for quite a lot too, is what I see here. For a lot of foreign energies and different emotional charges. You have been carrying for people a lot of emotional charges and a lot of suffering too sometimes. And this spirit guides mission is to teach you how to cleanse yourself a bit better and your own emotions as well, so that you can live your life with a sense of normalcy at the very least, so that you can enjoy the beauty in life as well and not dwell so much in the suffering, the sorrow, and the difficulties of others, so that you can be pulled back again to this play state, you know, this childlike state. So this guide is helping you do that so that you can walk in life uncorrupted by everything that you pick up on, and free, so that you can walk free as well from those external influences and energies that are obscuring your own a lot of the time. So this guide's interest is very focused on your recovery and health right now, Pantu. Some of you guys as well may have been going through some sort of trouble with your actual physical health. And maybe that is part of the message only applies for legit 1 or 2 people who have chosen this spell. But someone here is waiting on some sort of list to get medical help or assistance here. Maybe waiting for surgery or on a waiting list to get a psychologist even. This could even be a very specific and particular case that someone here has. And so far it's like not a lot of practitioners out there had the empathy or the patience with you to really take the time to properly study your case. Okay, so I don't know why this is coming through, but this is coming through. So those of you who have been waiting for a long time on the list or to get that proper medical attention that you need, that is also something coming from the help of this guide as well. If this message is meant to find you, you will know. But this specific guide is also assisting you in your current health goals, whether that is to recover from a wound or an accident that you had, to get the help and assistance that will understand you in your particular case, whether that is to lose or gain weight even, because that is different for everybody. Weight is something personal to each individual. But yeah, that is another task that they are carrying through right now with you. It's everything related to your physical health as well somehow here. This is another reason why they are by your side for some of you who have been asking or praying for health assistance or been wanting to reach certain health goals. So let's see now how they actually communicate with you. Pile 2, what kind of role this guy is truly fulfilling in your life, and sort of like the relationship dynamic in between the two of you. So we have here the High Priestess reversed. And then we have the Two of Cups. And then we have here the Four of Cups reversed. So this will sound strange, but I almost feel like this spirit guide knows you somehow, Pile 2. And again, oh my God, they feel childlike to me. They feel like the spirit of a child. Or again, maybe that they utilize this form in order to come and see you. Oh my God, I don't want to say that. God damn it. I hate when information like that is coming through, but I have to say it. And this might be for literally just one person out there. But there is the presence of a child here by my side. A young child, because they are a lot smaller. So if there is someone here that lost a child at a pretty young age, or maybe recently, below the age of 10 years old, or if some of you had a miscarriage before, I feel that for those of you, this could be the higher ascended spirit of that child that is coming through your cards here right now. And I am aware that this is so specific, but it just came through like a wave to me and I had to say it. So I feel that some of you who have lost a child, this child spirit is part of your spirit team now. It is a guide for you now on the other side. And they are trying to remove as well a lot of guilt and remorse that you could still be holding on to about them as well, is what I'm sensing with this Four of Cups reversed. But moving on now. Wow, that's so fucked up. Because with this Two of Cups, I am getting the message that this spirit guide knows you somehow, Pile 2. They know you in one way or another. So many of you have a loved one on the other side that is actually watching over you, like this guardian angel almost. And maybe that during their living time, they were a bit more quiet as a person. But then it's funny because this person's higher self is extremely bubbly and they make a lot of wind when they move, if you see what I mean. I feel that this person had, for the most part, a very bright presence and they took a lot of room maybe in your life, or when they walked into a room even. Maybe they took a lot of space. Some of you definitely have this person that passed and that you used to be very close to. And now they have taken this role of guardian angel on the other side for you. That is why I was picking up on this sort of angelic figure. There are so many types of spirit guides out there, and I feel that you guys have this sort of guardian angel looking over you. That is what I see here in your tarot cards. Maybe you thought that they had moved on, and yet they are still connected to you, Pile 2. And they actually interact with you a lot without you even realizing it. That's the interesting part here with this Four of Cups reversed and this High Priestess reversed as well. That is a strong psychic connection here. And that is so crazy because a couple of people here in this pile have actually tried to block this out in the past, to block this communication out. And perhaps that this is because some of you were actually afraid that there might actually be another side. And I know that it sounds ironic, but you would be surprised actually of how many people want to desperately believe that there is something else out there, but yet are also so afraid that there might be something else out there that they block their own selves out of it, even if they legit witness something unexplainable happen before their eyes. Sometimes people say that they need to see it in order to believe it, and even when they see a form of it, it's still so foreign to them and scary that they completely block out the experience out of denial or out of fear. So some of you have been actually a bit scared, perhaps, or it's like your rational side got triggered and took over. Often when the spirit guide was trying to communicate with you or give you a sign or, make you aware of its presence on the other side for you. And that's the thing with this Four of Cups. It's like I see them utilizing a lot of their own energy to bombard you with these signs and these crazy synchronicities. Like maybe you walk into a restaurant and you start hearing a song that this particular person really loved during their living time, or you start seeing a picture of them appear out of nowhere where you are searching for something else. And I actually feel that this is this spirit that keeps interacting a lot with your physical environment and reality. Like they are pretty active around you, pal, too. And it's as though you could miss out on a lot sometimes, on a lot of that with this High Priestess reverse and Four Cups reverse. Most likely perhaps because you're a bit afraid of how real your power can be sometimes. Because there is no way in hell you can explain certain things that happen to you sometimes. And that's the thing. You guys are sensitive and you pick up on a lot of stuff, but sometimes you have to block a lot of those energies out of your own energetic field as well, because sometimes it can become quite overwhelming and even draining for you. And it's like, okay, I am able to sense and pick up on all of these things with this High Priestess, but what the hell am I supposed to do with all of that now? But this spirit guide knows you. They have met you before when they were in a physical vessel of some sort. Maybe that this was a life partner to you, a parent, a child, a best friend even. And it's like when they appear to you, they're almost like in this child format, in the child version of themselves almost. And for some of you who don't know who this could be as well someone that you have met in your past incarnation, who has taken this role of guardian angel for you in this specific incarnation today as well. And this person was like a soulmate to you. You and them had this strong connection and spiritual bond together. There was a lot of love in here, no matter who this is. But it was a lot of love in between you two, yeah, when they had a physical vessel. And there is still a lot of love being present here in between you two, as they are still watching you in the astral now. But there is this already established relationship here in between you and this guy, it seems. And it's as though with this card, with this Two of Cups, this is really telling me like, yeah, I know them. Like it could be why they feel so excited to be in this reading right now or to be around you as well. I feel like the spirit is just enjoying your company right now. And it doesn't only come from them hanging out with you and around you in spirit, but that's also because they felt attached to you at a certain point when they had a life here. So that is so special. Like what the hell is going on? That is someone here that truly deeply cares about you, Paltu, and they want to take care of you now from the other side. And they almost make me laugh, maybe because maybe that this person was a jokester during their living time, or maybe that they had this very big sense of humor if you knew them. But it make me smile because they have chosen to actively support you from the other side by helping you in a more so practical way sometimes, like freeing you an early spot to bump the queue in order to repair your car faster, for example, or through sending you unique opportunities, propositions, and nurturing relationships your way. See here that when you try to ignore this spirit guide or reject their guidance with this High Priestess reverse and Four of Cup reverse, that is actually when they become very loud in your life. And it's not that they become that they ever become upset with you or anything, but they become very physical and in your face again is what I keep feeling here. They start playing tricks even on you to try to get your attention with this Otter and Dolphin card. For when it comes to how to communicate with you, Baltu, most definitely this feels like claircognizance, most likely because we have a High Priestess here. And a High Priestess is a medium that sits in between the realm of the living and the spiritual world. And most of what she understands and knows spiritually comes from this inner knowing that she has. So I see that your guides, and especially this one here, they don't only send you a lot of physical manifestations and signs of their presence, but they also communicate a lot with you through your actual inner knowing. Kind of like when you download a large amount of information into a computer. Although when this happens to your brain, the download occurs within a second. But I'm really seeing here that this spirit guide as well is really deeply involved in protecting your life force energy and your light from things, from people that are stealing and taking a lot of joy from you mentally and emotionally with this Four of Cups reversed. This guide is there to protect you as well and protect your energetic field from being drained. I feel that this guide's deepest wish is actually to not see you dwell on those heavier emotions and feelings that could be weighting you down sometimes and keeping you from enjoying your life like you used to when you were around a younger age or when times felt easier for you, Pantsu. It's like this guide is trying to shield you a lot right now, and they know that they are being a bit abrasive and in your bubble with you quite a lot right now, but I feel that it's because they are trying to recharge you with optimism and joy for life again. They're really trying to protect this inner child in you again. Because it seems like there has been an experience in your life lately that has been taking a lot of that from you lately, that made you a bit more serious or feeling a bit less like yourself. And this guide is trying to lure you, basically, is what I keep feeling with this Four of Cups reverse and High Priestess reverse, out of this space where you just sit and harp on it on your own. The spirit is trying to draw you into a space where you can see where there is what there is to receive in this life again, all of the opportunities, dreams, and blessings you could be missing out on at this time, and that there is to notice all around you. So that is beautiful, beautiful energy here that they are giving to you. But that is basically what I'm seeing from this guide for you, Pantsu, and what I'm getting their energy actually feels like to me, as well as how they are helping you in your life right now. I hope that this reading could help you get to know better the incredible spirits that you have helping you by your side. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me today and for making me your humble guide in this reading. For those of you who have been curious to check out my private tarot services, the link to my online tarot shop will be down below in the description box. And otherwise, I hope to see you soon and that you will come out, hang out with me soon again on the channel. Bye bye, you guys. Welcome, Bell 3. This is going to be your reading about who your spirit guides might be. And I just want to say before I start, I'm reading for a lot of people here all at the same time. And so I am sorry already if I'm picking up on some people's energy more so than others, or if I target a very specific group of people here. But I trust that you will know if the messages in there are meant for you. But if it doesn't resonate, that's completely good. Don't try to make it fit or to force it. There are so many readings about the topic already out there, and this is only my personal channeling sessions with the cards, meant to find the people who are of an equal energetic match to hear them, basically. So without further ado, I've decided to separate this reading into 3 different sections for you. We are going to start by checking the energy of whatever guide of yours is really stepping through the most to me, the one that wants to come into contact with me, because I'm pretty sure that most likely you guys have anyway more than one guide by your side. But then after that, we're going to see what is the mission of the spirit guide. What mission is the spirit guide assigned to help you fulfill in your life at this time, their role with you at this specific chapter of your life. And then after that, in the final section of this reading, we're going to take a look at how this guide communicates with you, and that will sort of give you an idea of how to contact them as well, and keep your relationship going with them as well, because I am the medium here for this reading, but I would really hope for you that after this reading you feel inspired to start developing this awesome relationship with them by keeping contact with them on your own for now on as well. And then we're also going to tap into this reading into how they interact with you in your life, what sort of presence and impact they have in your life. How are they working with you so that you can better identify their signs and their energy at play a little bit better. So if you guys are ready, let's get started. First card that we have here for you is the Vision. Then after that, we have the Village. Then the next card is the Shaman. Then as spirit animals, we also have the Bee for you. And we have as well the Deer. Wow, okay. The presence of the spirit guide that I'm feeling the strongest, because you have probably more than just one pile 3, like I've mentioned. But the one that is really coming through to me here is a spirit that is extremely close to nature and to Mother Earth somehow. They feel extremely grounding to me. And what I keep seeing for you is the root chakra as well. Like this spirit guide is maybe attached to you through your sense of grounding, to what makes you feel like you belong, like you are safe and connected to this earthy world and experience. Their frequency is almost like this humming on the same low vibration than a drum. So this guy may even love the sound of drums in music or in your ritual space. You know how drums are such a primal sound to us. I feel like the beat of a drum, it connects us back to our own animalistic nature in a sense. I actually have a theory as to why often it is part of mainstream music to have those very big bass and drum sounds at the front of music, like so I feel like us people in general, we listen to music for many different types of reasons, and sometimes it's to feel understood, other times it's to feel to find healing. And for when it comes to people who feel specifically attracted to music, who have this very low tone, this low bass or low drumming sort of beat, it's often because of the grounding effects that it actually gives, because drums and bass are so grounding, I find. I mean, just look at all of the ancient civilizations and indigenous cultures that use them at the forefront of their traditional music, whether that is in Native Americans, whether that is the tribes in Africa, the Nords, the Celts, the Slavs. It's like every culture that was pretty connected to nature had a lot of rites and musics and ceremonies that brought back to this frequency of the earth. So this spirit guide feels extremely close and even attached to the earth, to me, to the spirit of nature. They feel attached to the healing, nurturing energies of earth element even. They are vibrating on that sort of humming frequency to me. So this could definitely be a guardian of the earth, or even an ancestor perhaps, with this kind of the shaman and the village, especially if some of you guys have some Native American, African, or indigenous blood down your ancestry. This could definitely be an ancestor for you guys. However, they feel like a spirit of nature to me, almost as they could belong to the family of the beings here that are very close to nature. Entities like fairies, gnomes, mermaids even. A lot of you guys as well have spirit animals by your side in your spirit team. Like your guides may come to you as a wild animal or a pet even sometimes. But you guys may even have a pet or even a wild animal in the astral that is watching over you. And look, that is no coincidence. I feel like this guide found you, Pile 3. They felt drawn to your energy because your frequency is very close to the one that nature here on earth operates on somehow. So especially if you have always felt drawn to fairies or elves, things like that when you were a child, or still today maybe, if you have always felt this very strange type of psychic connection with animals, or you have always wondered why animals felt unexplainably drawn to you, that is sort of like this ability that a spirit guide has provided you with somehow, which is so cool. So you may be a natural animal whisperer of some sort. You may know how animal and nature behaves and how they feel and how they respond. Even plants and trees, you might really feel connected to those. You might as well be one of those people that absolutely need to surround yourself with plants at home, that has a difficult time living in the city. I can definitely relate to that if that's the case. You may even be someone as well that has a lot of green in their aura, is what I keep seeing here as well. You guys, my Pile 3, you are people who understand the laws of nature organically and naturally, and it's because you have never been one of those people that got disconnected from it in the first place. You have a level of awareness and consciousness around nature and all life on earth that makes you see the essence of the natural world and how sacred and important the balance of life is. You might even be some sort of activist or have like the green thumb. Or you may have always felt drawn to ecological concepts. You guys are souls that came here to protect the earth and teach its sacred medicine, in a sense, to other people, to get people back into connection with the earth and with their natural element. And if all of that truly resonates deep, you are the red pile. There's literally no other way for me to put it. And it's so funny because it's almost as if this is a spirit that attaches you to your sense of community and belonging as well, Pile 3, to the nexus of life and how your own spiritual essence is meant to be part of a certain community or a specific group of people, with this kind of the bee and the village, which connects us back to source, basically, to make us more alike than different, what makes us closer and not separated from one another. This spirit guide, I feel, for a lot of you, found you where you were actually a little child, and don't ask me why I'm picking this up, but this is coming through, and they felt drawn to your specific frequency because it has always been grounded on the earth. You know how there are those souls out there that feel completely new and, you know, young in this world. Maybe they had a lot of incarnations elsewhere, but then they really feel uncomfortable in this realm somehow, almost like they are lost and don't feel at home here on planet Earth. Often those spirits those souls, those people are less earth conscious. And who can blame them? Because people won't care and respect the things that they don't understand, right? But you guys, my pal threes, are not these new souls here on earth. You guys are old children of the earth. You had many past lives to really get acquainted here with how this world runs and how nature works, is what I'm getting. And that is why you respect it so much. You even had many incarnations as well in cultures that had a deep reverence over the earth. So you may have been a medicine man or medicine woman in another life, or you may have been someone that lived from the earth. And this spirit guide is sort of there to help you because they see that you help them and you help their environment very much. You're protective of their environment. So that is quite special. It's like your guides are, this guide is like a shaman almost, and they initiate you to your place here in this large ecosystem. They send you a lot of visions too. That's what I'm getting, is what I see with this card. It makes me think of how, you know, like in those movies when they go seek the guidance and spiritual assistance of the elder of a particular tribe. That spirit guide is kind of like this gatekeeper to you, not only towards understanding the secrets of the earth, but also the secrets of the beyond, of the astral and spiritual realm. But let's see now what this guide's spiritual assignment is with you, what they are helping you with in your life right now. We have here the card of wisdom, and it says, on a Wednesday with a waxing moon, let wisdom come and be renewed. Awesome. Then we have here, look at that, magical powers. I weave and clear, I cast and know, magic secrets to me now show. That's crazy. Then we have the card of loss. That is crazy how today, so far, each and every single reading had cards that kept repeating the same sort of like vibes. And I love when that happens because that means that it's even more precise. And look, we even have the card of healing here. So I swear to God, you guys, I don't pick these cards myself. I always shuffle, and then I only take flippers and flyers whenever I read for other people. And I'm just so astonished that in every reading, like all of the teams have been sort of matching together, and it all seems like all of your cards here coordinate with each other perfectly. I am saying that because what is a shaman? A shaman is a mentor. They are a wisdom keeper. A shaman is also a healer. They are often this person in the village or in this specific smaller community that helps people access the doorway towards the spirit realm as well, and that assists through their spiritual and magical powers. So that is nuts. I almost feel as though this guide is by your side to initiate you towards all of that path 3, towards stepping into the role and gifts of your inner shaman, priest, or priestess. You know, this role that you're supposed to fulfill in your own community, whether that is in your physical community and the town that you live in or come from, or whether that is on a particular community on social media even as well. So this spirit guide, they feel like a spiritual gatekeeper to me, which if you don't know what that is, your gatekeeper is basically your spirit guide that holds the key to the spirit world. For some people, this gate will remain closed their entire life, either because they won't reach the awareness to try or even access it or know that this place even exists. And for some people as well, I have to say that it's not necessarily essential for fulfilling their purpose, because we're all here on a very different journey. Like your journey, you guys, is specifically custom for you, you know. We all came here on earth with lessons and purposes that are specifically tailored and sort of like custom designed for us. There are some people here that came to experience a lot in the material sphere of life, and others in the emotional sphere or in the mental health sphere. And then there are those people as well that came to experience a lot consciously in the metaphysical sphere of life. And like I always say, all experiences are spiritual in essence. However, you guys, my pile 3, have always been connected to something more, starting at a very young age is what I see here. You guys may even be natural psychics, mediums, energy healers, or even astral travelers. Maybe you haven't even tuned in with this ability yet, but it is still the potential that I see is being part of your soul essence here. And you guys have been or are meant to be involved in a lot of psychic work, or back and forth psychic work, it seems, because it is part of your mission to be close to your own gatekeeper spirit. That is why this is the guide that seems to be coming through the most through your reading today. So the spirit guide, it seems, it's like it's not here only to help you tune in with the natural world better, but it is also by your side in order to help you gain access to the spirit world. Another thing that I am seeing them achieve with you as well, and is psychic protection. So since they are this sort of portal manager to you, they are kind of like your personal bouncer and bodyguard, if you will, making sure that your psychic and mediumistic travels are done safely and effectively. So this guy guards you as you do your spiritual or psychic work, and they keep your channel strong, clear, and high vibe. So they make sure that you come back in one piece with this card of loss as well, or that you come back clear of anything you could have picked up from the other side as well. So how cool is that? But this gatekeeper I see here is really helping you open up those spiritual portals, pile 3. To your spiritual dimension of life is what I see with this big ring, you know, on the card of vision. It's almost like this spatial temporal, timeline tear that I'm seeing here, and you traversing into this other world on the other side. It's almost that I'm seeing with this card here. So this guide helps you make a lot of sense of the spiritual experiences that you are having and have been going through right now. This could be anything from undergoing a current spiritual awakening to maybe developing your psychic and spiritual gifts with this kind of magical powers as well, to maybe understanding the meaning of your dreams as well. I don't know why, but this is also coming through strongly here. But I see that they help you make sense of a lot of weird, unexplained events that you had with your own spiritual abilities, that you're having right now. So they are also there to help you control those abilities, understand how they function, and assist you in utilizing them as well. And I feel that developing this relationship with your gatekeeper spirit guide is so important for my pile 3s, because you guys, you channel a lot, but you also get bothered a lot sometimes when this gate for you is open and when you don't know how to necessarily properly close it. So this guide is also there by your side to help sort of regulate that spiritual traffic in your life, if you will. As you will grow your relationship with them, you will be able to tell them even what kind of energies and entities you exactly want to have access to and which ones you don't, which is pretty awesome here. But let's see now how they communicate with you, what kind of role this guide is fulfilling in your life, and maybe the sort of relationship dynamic in between you two. We have here the Page of Cups. Then we have the Nine of Cups reversed. And then finally, we have the Ace of Crystals, otherwise known as the Ace of Pentacles in a traditional tarot deck. So what I'm getting instantly here for you, pile 3, is that this guy communicates a lot with you through the portal of your heart, through your heart chakra, which is why they come off to you as very wise. The wisest guidance to me is always channeled from the heart chakra somehow, because that is most often where the most empathic, compassionate, and loving messages come from. And anything that comes from a pure love that does not judge is always so high in vibration, right? But it's really beautiful because I see that this guy is helping step into this vibration, where it's helping you step into this vibration, basically, where you can come to see within you and within others everything that is beautiful, innocent, pure, and genuine. So you may be the type of person that often even prefers to see the good in people, and that believes that people are inherently good in essence, which I definitely do agree with that. I personally always thought that we are the evil to someone else, like we are the angel of another person as well, right? So you may also be the type of person that easily picks up on the benefits of what has happened, whether that is a challenge, a loss, a tragedy. And when you cannot identify the meaning behind it, you will actively try to seek it. But I feel that this guide loves to bring you to observe and look at what is positive, good, and valuable in everything and every being. That is the role in this relationship that they have with you. They have this uplifting effect because they open your heart over your situations, where you get to see the glass half full and make people see the glass half full again as well. And for a lot of you guys that cannot yet identify with that, that's because you just haven't tapped into this ability yet, this part of you yet that can see that. But this is who you are in essence. And let me make myself clear here, because I don't think that you guys even had anything handed to you or easily given to you with a Nine of Cups reverse and Ace of Crystal here. Everything you ever had was difficultly earned through hard work, sweat, and tears, even sometimes. And all of those challenges you have encountered in your life were enough to harden anybody's heart. And chances are that you guys will have to go through this phase of disconnection as well before you can emerge from that and transcend all of that. That is actually why you are meant to step into this vibration where you can see beauty and significance behind every hardship and pains. That's because you will know what it feels like to sink in at the bottom at first. You have to know that the most positive people that I know are always those who had suffered the most and greatly before coming to that point where they can see things from a heightened ego perspective. I have met this guy while I was in Australia way back then when I used to live there, and he was from Pakistan, and his parents had taken every bit of money that they had left to ship him to Australia. And they had barely enough for an extra to pay for a university degree for him to become an architect. And so that is crazy, because this guy would sleep outside on benches during the night and go at school during the day. And in his past, he had seen his best friends and some family members die before his eyes while he was still trying to defend his country. And you know what? Despite all of that, he was the most happy, fulfilled, and chill person I have ever met. That was so inspiring to me, and I feel that this is because when you have hit rock bottom, and when everything that you ever cared for, that you ever cared about has been taken away from you, what else is there to lose, right? You cannot go any lower than that. All that there is for you to go is up after such a moment like that. So what else worse than that could happen after that? This does not mean that this person or that you, pile 3, won't ever have to go through pain, hardship, and difficulties ever again. Not at all. Because pain is part of this human experience. However, this does mean that you will become better equipped than most to pull yourself into the light and transform this suffering into wisdom and to power. I always say that the greatest pains are the best certifications for the greatest healers on this earth. Because how the fuck are you supposed to even know how to pull someone else from a dark space if you can't even relate to how it feels? How the fuck are you supposed to heal if you don't even understand and have studied the wound before? So my pal threes are on this hardcore pilgrimage right now that has you learning about what it takes to be a great community healer, a great mentor, a great spiritual teacher. People have told you before that you had this wisdom and life outlook that was way beyond your years even. But this spiritual journey that your guide has you on has you learning about what you can gain from a situation where you can't have everything that you want or everything handed to you right away, pal 3. It has you extract the value where that there is to take basically from those challenges, obstacles, and difficult times. It's almost like they want you to have the bounty of what it feels like to overcome and be transformed by those events, which often surpass the rewards of instant gratification. Which, you know, instant gratification is fun for the very, small amount of pleasure and time that it lasts, but it's nothing. It's nothing compared to polishing a stone into a crystal. It's nothing like transforming sand into a precious stone. It's nothing like learning how to turn losses into wins, indulgence into gratitude, dissatisfaction into inner happiness and peace. So the energy of your guide is extremely high in vibration because they are about teaching you how to fight differently for what you want, how to fight from a place of inner peace, love, acceptance, and reverence for the things that are worth being respected. And like I have said earlier about nature, about people trashing our oceans and our planet Earth right now because they are so disconnected from it and they don't understand it. That's the same for emotions, you guys. We can't ever learn to grow a respect and appreciation for anything in life unless we know the value of it and the cost of it as well. So, the young souls here, they are on a separate journey than you, pal 3, and it's not a better or lesser journey than yours. It's just where they are at, and it's just where you are at. So your spirit team right now and ancestors even are bowing down at your feet right now for wanting to stand for them, for protecting the earth in your own unique way, by the way, too. So right now, I'm seeing that it's all about increasing your support here in the material realm as well with this Ace of Crystal by maybe opening yourself up to receiving more support than you have done so before in the past or that you can even imagine for yourself right now. Whether that is financial support, people that will come in to support your ventures, acts of services, giving you a safe foundation and environment to flourish. Right now, the next step for you, pal 3, is about receiving more than giving right now. That's one thing that your guide wants you to know. The people that can give unconditionally to others and to this earth are also always the ones that are willing to receive unconditionally as well. This has been part of your journey in general as I see it here. That is why this guide is there to keep you from slipping into bitterness, into self-pity, into greediness, into selfishness. That is why they are always insisting on drawing back your attention towards what there is to gain in the one cup that you have left with this Page of Cups. That is of much more better quality than those 9 other, cheap cups that you don't even need anyway. It's all about what you can gain or what you still have that remained untouched by the weather, if you will. This is a very loving, generous, and wise guide that you have here. That is why their presence feels so grounding and attached to the earth again. They really help you getting rooted in your experiences here, whether they are positive or disruptive, because this guide understands the laws of nature and knowing that nothing is ever taken without some life growing out of it again. Just like when you walk into a forest, right? It could be easy to see a forest as chaos when you haven't been there a lot of the time. Like you see all of those branches and weeds sort of getting intertwined and knotting together and blocking the path. When you take a closer look to that though, you realize that everything has an order to it, a sacred order to it. Like, you know, the mushroom that is growing out of the moss and that nourishes the soil and certain animals that will eat it. It's just so balanced. But when we are disconnected from it, it could seem like chaos at first. But this feels like a spirit of nature to me for sure that you have here by your side. A very grounding, peaceful, and balanced energy. But that is basically what I'm seeing from this guide here for you, Pile 3. And what I'm getting their energy actually feels like to me, as well as how they're helping you in your life right now. So I hope that this reading could help you get to know better the incredible spirits that you have helping you by your side. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me today and making me your humble guide for this reading as well. For those of you who have been curious to check out my private tarot services, the link to my online tarot shop will be down below in the description box. And otherwise, I hope to see you back soon again. And I hope that you will come out, hang out again on the channel with me. Bye bye, you guys. Welcome, Pile 4. This is going to be your reading about who your spirit guides might be. And I want to say before I start that I'm reading for a lot of people here all at the same time. And so I'm sorry already if I'm picking up on some people's energy more than others, or if I maybe target a very specific group of people here. But I trust that you will know if the messages in there are meant to find you. But if it doesn't resonate, that's completely good. Don't try to make it fit. Or not try to force it. There are so many readings out there about this subject already, and this is only my personal channeling sessions with a card that is meant basically to find the people who are of energetic equal match to hear them. So without further ado, I have separated this reading into 3 different sections for you. So we are going to start by checking the energy of whatever guide of yours is really stepping through to me the most, the one that wants to connect with me the most, because I'm pretty sure that most likely you guys have more than one spirit guide by your side at this time. And then after that, we're going to see what sort of mission this guide is assigned to help you fulfill in your life at this time. Their role with you at this specific chapter of your life. And then after that, in the final section of the reading, we're going to take a look at how this guide communicates with you and how that will sort of help you basically determine how you may stay in contact with them as well, or how you may tend to this relationship on your own, because I am the medium here for this reading. But I would really hope for you that after this reading, hopefully you will feel inspired to start by now developing this awesome relationship with them on your own. And then we are going to also tap in this reading into how they interact with you in your life. So what sort of presence and impact that they have in your life, or how are they working with you so that you can better identify the signs and their energy at play a little bit better. So if you guys are ready, let's get started. First cards that we have for you. We have here the empty room. Then we have here the riddle. And then we have the unseen. Interesting. Then as spirit animals, we have for you the dragonfly. And we have for you as well the whale. Okay, so I'm going to have to sit with this a little while because this guide is unlike anything familiar to me. And it's like they won't reveal much about themselves either, which I definitely do want to respect that. It's funny because they are those guys that prefer to remain veiled in this unlabeled, unknown filter like that. And there can be various reasons for that. Sometimes it's because revealing their identity will be kind of like irrelevant or like a distraction from the purpose that they are supposed to fulfill with you. And sometimes as well, it can be because their identity as an entity could be unlike anything we have labeled or conceptualized in our human understanding of the world yet. And so even if I would try to describe them to you, Pal 4, it seems like they fall out from the boundaries of what we may be able to understand as humans, because you've got to understand that on this planet that we live in this realm, we are bound by certain laws, which is this 4-dimensional space and limit our body, our brain is subject to in this human experience. But then this means as well that if we change dimension or spiritual realm completely, that means that laws in there can be unlike anything we are subject to here. And I'm still a student of all of that myself, just like you guys. So I believe in the metaphysical, but I also believe strongly in science as well. And so far, this is still a subject yet to understand. And that's why it never really made sense to me to separate science from spirituality, because I really do deeply believe that the two of them are connected together. It's crazy because I have been doing a lot of spirit guides reading lately though on my online store, and this week I had an extremely similar energy to this one that came to visit me, and it was a very odd and unique encounter. I was a little bit shocked because this was the first time I had ever read an energy like that, and I feel like this could be the same energy, not the same exact energy, but the same sort of energy in here. It's like their vibration feels similar to what I have interacted earlier with this week, which is a guide, which was a guide for one of my querent, basically. But I feel that this guide that we have here is beyond anything you might look or you might even think of for when it comes to a spirit guide. I feel like they are way beyond this realm as well. This looks like an otherworldly being to me, almost as though they could come from a different world than us, maybe a different realm, a different plane, a different dimension, or a different planet even. Maybe that they come from way beyond this galaxy, for all I know. It's crazy because this spirit is your guide path for, and I feel them attached and linked to you. However, it's like there's a lot of distance between you and them as well. It's as if they are a bit more absent to you sometimes. They feel absent, and this happened to me before, and I think that this is because this being, whoever they are living a very different incarnation than yours at this time, but simultaneously at the same time as you. So I feel that they are undergoing their very own unique experience in a world that is far from being bound by the same laws and restrictions than ours. That is why sometimes you feel as though the communication with this guide isn't as clear sometimes, or it isn't as easy. I feel like most often they are pretty cryptic with you, even almost as though they were speaking an entirely different language with this card of the riddle, kind of like whales have their own complex language too, right? And we have also the dragonfly here for you, which is a pretty weird alien-like creature to me. You know how dragonflies always look to be out of this world, kind of. And that is how I'm sort of interpreting the energy of this guy that you have here by your side. They are very unseizable. And it's like their energy is fleeting a little almost. And it's not to say that they aren't as present for you as a guide. I just feel that their presence and language is difficult for you to seize or to grasp most of the time. And again, I feel like it's because you guys need a little bit of adjustment here. I feel this is because the spirit guide doesn't understand no shit of what is going on in the human world we live in sometimes. And they are a little bit ignorant or oblivious to that like that. And who can blame them? Because I feel that this entity had many incarnations probably beyond this realm, beyond this earth. But then I do feel that planet Earth feels a bit foreign to them. It's as though they have never incarnated here. Therefore, it's kind of like funny to me because it's as though it takes some extra effort for you guys to be able to understand each other or meet each other halfway for when it comes to this one specific guide, because this is an entity that you've got to understand is very intelligent and evolved. But then, how can I say this? It's like they are intelligent and evolved on a different level than us humans we can be. Pretty much like this whole debate that has been going on about whales being this incredible intelligent being. So much so that whales are even more sentient than us. Did you know that whales had this part of their brain that is related to social language and social recognition that us humans, we don't even have? If that is not the most mind-blowing thing you have ever heard, then I don't know what else I could say, because I personally find this fact pretty phenomenal. It says a lot about what we truly think intelligence is and what we define it as humans, right? But I feel like it's the same for when it comes to this guide. Their world is operating on such a different vibration than ours. It's like a completely different world. So it's kind of like it's a different world when you go deep into the ocean, right? Or when you go out into space. So this spirit guide is trying to explain right now that even if they were to take you there or show you who they are and where they come from maybe, then you wouldn't even be able to understand no shit of what is going on. Kind of like them when they come here and the astral to come in and visit you, they're like a bit confused about everything that is going on in your earthy human reality. So that's how different the both of you are from each other, which is pretty funny, but you guys are connected nonetheless, which is so interesting to me. So still, they are your guide and they operate with you on a much different frequency and language than other spirit guides. And that's why, as long as you don't get acquainted and psychically sensitive enough to the language that they utilize with you, Balfour, it's always going to feel as though this guide is quite subtle or difficult to hear or understand. They will feel more like an echo, if you will, and sometimes as though they are not there at all. So it's interesting because this being is having their own separate incarnation that they have to take care of right now at this time. And that is why as well, they can't really always be at your side all of the time. And sometimes they will come to visit you or meet you in their astral, like through their astral body. However, they are there to guide you and communicate their guidance from a distance whenever you need. So it's just that you know how whales communicate with each other from miles away from one another? It's kind of like that. Or at least that's what they're trying to explain to me, I feel. This guide is linked to a specific channel for when it comes to being in contact with you. And when you tune in to this channel yourself, you're able to actually hear them. And you may be unconsciously tuning in to this channel most of the time until now, but with practice and through developing your psychic sensitivity, you will be able to link yourself to this channel more consciously in the future, which is pretty unique and pretty freaking cool, if you ask me. By developing your psychic sensitivity, I mean through exercising your psychic abilities, which everybody have them, you know. Psychic abilities are not bound to a special kind of human. We all have the capacity to be psychic. It's just that not everybody is consciously practicing their own psychic awareness. Psychic abilities, they are basically like an extension of our normal senses, if you will. So for example, clairsentience, which is the ability to feel clearly through our body, our emotions, this is an extension of our normal capacity to feel and empathize with others. So in your journey through developing an awareness of your own psychic sensitivity, you will be able to come to that point where communication with this guide will eventually feel much more stronger and clearer and more frequent. And it's pretty insane, but that is what I'm getting here with this guide, is that for now, they seem most often like almost absent to you. And I don't like to use this word because they are your spirit guides, so obviously they are there whenever you need. But it's as though they are not responding always to you when you try to communicate with them, maybe parfois, but they truly are. They are always responding and present for you parfois. It's just that they operate with you on a channel you need to become aware of and tune yourself with. It's like, you know, plugging your headphones into the speaker. It's like putting your radio on the right channel, if you will. So it's all about that. You're learning to do that right now with this guide. And it's going to make communication faster and more efficient in the future. But let's see now what this guide's spiritual assignment is with you, what they're helping you with in your life right now. We have here the card of trust. And this card says, I am safe, I am secure, in love I trust, my faith endures. Then we have here new beginnings, and it says, let this magic and my spell clear the space in which I dwell. All right, and then we have here the card of the maze. Look at that. And then we have hope. So that is pretty insane because the card of the maze is here, and that makes me think of this card of the riddle again. So this kind feels extremely unclear and cryptic for you even, parfois sometimes. It's almost as though, for example, you will be thrown in the middle of the city where nobody speaks your language. If, for instance, all that they can reply to you is in Mandarin and you don't speak Mandarin. That's pretty much how trying to talk with this guide can feel like to you sometimes, which can be quite frustrating sometimes for the both of you. And often it might feel like a different language to you because sometimes their guidance could feel very unusual or even counterproductive sometimes to what you would expect to receive at times. But it's all in building that actual trust with them, that they have got your highest interest in mind. I feel like most of the time as well, it's not really that you don't receive an answer or that you can't hear or understand this guide, parfois, but it's that you sincerely don't take in their advice or messages that seriously. And usually when you do that, that is where you get lost in this sort of maze where nothing makes any sense anymore. And it's as though you keep being met with these walls after walls after walls, and it's like you cannot ever break through those walls. But parfois, you need to understand something. Sometimes we ask for confirmation after confirmation after confirmation, and it's not that we haven't received any feedback or actual answer to her question. It's more that we don't trust any answer that we already know or that has been given to us. It's like we don't trust enough in it to apply it. And I feel that this is a problem here that you often encounter with this guide. This guide always provides you with an answer to your questions. It's just that sometimes it's not what you were expecting to hear at all. And so sometimes you could feel like it is off topic a little, but it's not. It's just that this guide has like this third view perspective of the maze. And it's like, they're kind of like this guide on the microphone that is sort of like giving you those directives to help you find your way out of the maze. And believe me, if it was helpful for them to take you out of there themselves, they would. But they can't do this type of work for you because they are undergoing their own incarnation at this time first, and you are undergoing yours with your own specific experience. And this custom tailored human lessons that you need to undergo. And some people will argue with that sometimes and think that it's pretty unfair. You know, there are people that keep asking me sometimes, well, if guides were real, how come are they leaving me in this struggle here? Or how come they aren't saving me from my misery? But guides won't ever stand in the way of us having to undergo our lessons and of finding our own way, Balfour. Guides are not meant to do anything like that because we all have free will, see? So our guides cannot even make decisions and choices for us because if they would do so, honestly, they will be pretty fucking bad guides, if you ask me. Just like your own parents will probably mess up their job as a parent with you if they were to take every decision in your life for you. Yes, maybe that you would be protected from ever getting hurt if this parent will sort of like, you know, wrap you in a bubble paper and prevent you from having to get out of the house and ever falling down to get the things that you need. But they will also keep you from having to make your own individual experiences. And to me, that sounds like shitty parenting. And guides are the same, you know, guides are kind of like spiritual parent to us from the astral. And they are not like all love and light and perfection. All energies have their own temperament, their strengths and their weaknesses. So they are every types of parents, just like there are many types of guides. And some parents in our life will be there to pick us up when we get hurt, and some are there to push us to our extreme limits sometimes. So, you know, some of them sometimes will do the complete opposite of the other parent. So the only difference is that spirit guides, unlike our human parents, can be sometimes, spirit guides are always good parents to us. And a good parent tries to show the way, but they will never walk for their own children. Removing your free will like that, this wouldn't be ethic, this wouldn't be moral, it wouldn't even be fair to you, Balfour. And it would remove the whole point of you reaping the rewards of walking your own path. So this guide's role with you, Balfour, is to help you navigate the maze, but they can't cut like a shortcut for you through the wall. They can't make you fly towards your end destination already. They can't walk the path in your place. Some of you have felt a lot of frustrations lately about your spirit guides, and that's because maybe that you have the impression that from what you are hearing in the spiritual community about guides, that yours are leaving you on your own, trying to figure out your way through a whole pile of mess and dead ends in your life right now. But you got to understand, Balfour, that this is not your guide's right to remove you from having to undergo the trials and tribulations of your own journey, of your own soul-defining journey as a human. A true parent can't ever save you or prevent you from getting hurt. A true parent can only take care of loving you unconditionally and supporting you in doing so. Do you understand the difference now? I hope that I'm being clear, because I don't know why, but I feel that this guide wanted to make a few points clear with you at this time of your life, Balfour, because right now it seems like they are the eagle eye, or the bird flying over the maze for you, and they can see where each path will make you end up in, and all that they can do is try their best to sort of nudge you towards the paths that will enable you to reach your highest potential. But if you want to stay in a dead-end branch, or if you are hard-headed and think that another path is actually better for you, then they won't get in the way of that, because this is your own life and you should make it out of it what you please. However, just know that there is always a different road. It's not true that there is no exit whatsoever or no other option whatsoever. There are many parallel realities that are occurring at this time, as this present moment is occurring as we are speaking right now. And this guide, it's not to say that they will get upset with you if you reject their guidance, but it's more to say that they have much higher hopes for you than to see you get stuck in front of a wall. Like, this guide hates that. They hate to see you without purpose, or without direction, or without potential, or without a sense of progress here. That is why another mission that they have with you is to do everything that they can in their power to get you out of your own rut and of your own limited circumstances or situations, if you will, when you hit a wall. But let's see now how they communicate with you, what kind of role this guide is fulfilling in your life, and the sort of relationship dynamic in between the two of you, if you will. So we have here the Ace of Swords. Then we have the Three of Crystals reversed, otherwise known as the Three of Pentacles reversed. And then look at that, we have the Tower reversed. Wow. So this guide, Balfour, I feel, has been by your side, not only throughout this entire incarnation you are going through, but I also feel that they have been there for multiple incarnations before that as well, with this Three of Crystals reversed. So that makes sense now why this card of new beginning was there, because we have the Tower reversed here in your reading, and whenever the Tower appears, this is like the end of the world as we know it. And it's not always a huge change, like a huge or like a bad or good change. It can sometimes speak of a smaller thing as well, but the Tower is normally a marker of a new age, because it speaks of a world or life not being the same ever again in some way, shape, or form. It speaks as well of allowing what needs to fall so that we can embrace a new beginning and construct a new structure upon the ashes of what has been destroyed in the past. A structure that will be a lot more solid and safe for our future. So it seems like this guide is a positive force of destruction sometimes in your life, because it is participating in removing a lot of old, outdated things from your environment, Balfour, whether that is old habits, relationships, responsibilities, ecosystems, even. With this Three of Crystals reversed right next, this guide has the role of undoing a lot of energy in your life. And normally when they are to that point, that's either because you have tried to push or resist this guide's help and assistance, or that's because you have trapped yourself somewhere that is in detriment with your growth. So that is why this guide is in this position or role with you right now at this time of your life. You guys could have trapped yourself in a job even as well that doesn't serve you, or relationships as well that don't serve you, that keep you trapped, an environment that keeps you trapped, with the empty space as well, the empty room. This guy wants you to become comfortable with empty spaces as well, and is something that I'm getting here. They want to prevent you from feeling the need to always fill up those empty spaces in your life when they become free with fillers, with things that aren't even useful to your journey and that are only overcrowding your space. Because when your life is filled with things and people that are empty of meaning, that is when you usually get lost and confused as to where you're supposed to go. And this guide is there to prevent that from happening, to prevent you from avoiding confronting that empty room and feeling like you've got to fill it with something else. It's like this guide wants you instead to feel filled by something else that is a lot deeper than any of those material or outside things could really be able to fulfill in you. So, okay, so that guide, they construct a lot of things in your life, and you have to know, for it, that this is out of love for you, because they know that who you are and your highest potential isn't in those things that they remove. This guy knows that whatever space you are looking to fill in your life right now comes from a much deeper need, and that's why it won't be able to heal you. Getting this thing, this filler won't be able to heal you. I feel like they are undoing a lot of energy in your life right now, because those things are distractions in the way of you embracing a much needed new beginning in your life. And perhaps that you guys have been a bit avoidant or doubtful or anticipating this new beginning a lot, but that new beginning is the energy that is trying to break through in your life right now. And that is crazy, because again, we have the Ace of Swords here, and the Ace of Swords is related to the element of air, which is everything related to the mind and to the psyche. That makes me think of that channel I was talking about to you earlier that they utilize in order to communicate with you. I feel like this guide could often communicate through your own thoughts and also through technology as well, or perhaps that technology starts acting up weird around you when this guide is present with you. But a lot of you guys, it could actually come from your thoughts that seem to come from your own voice, is what I hear here. But they are actually not always your own thoughts. They are actually the voice of your guide sometimes that is downloading information through you, through clairaudience. And you will know when it's actually this guy speaking when the advice that you receive takes you by surprise, because it seems to be against everything you have been trying to do so far, or because it's a very unusual way to look at things. A good trick to know when it is this guide that is talking to you about is to take notice if the messages that you receive are trying to expand you, because when this guide is speaking to you, the messages that they provide you with will always be trying to help you expand, basically. Whereas the voice of your own ego will always try to keep you small, trapped, and inferior. So this guide is trying to make you bigger, always. And that's why sometimes their help disturbs your peace a lot of the time, and why sometimes you fear even their presence in your life. Sometimes why you expect the worst out of their help with you. Their energy is very unexpected and often really unbiased too. Their energy is, it's almost making me think of Kali Ma or Sekhmet or Shiva. And because they are really cut through the facts with you, they are really honest, and sometimes it can almost feel cold to you. They have this side to them that can be colder with you. So it's funny, because I feel like probably that this guide isn't the warmest with you in your spirit team. I feel like you must have other guides that are in charge of that by your side, of when you need to be cuddled, of the fluff when you're in need of affection. But this guide here loves you, but they just operate on a very different language than you. They don't understand this human need for touch or for hugging someone or to make jokes and laugh. I'm seeing here that most of the time this guy is actually quite serious with you, and that's what is making me laugh right now. is that they don't really operate on the same social parameters than us. And it's almost like they don't understand, you know, the normal human concerns either. It's like all that this guide is truly concerned about with you is your spiritual growth and evolution, so that you can grow and actually transcend this world, so that you can solve the puzzle of this life and transcend this lower reality than the world that this guide is operating from. So they are helping you right now grow your incarnation, if you will. They are all about the progress of your soul, which your soul is on this very separate journey, which does not only encompass this one incarnation, but which is concerned about all of the other incarnations as well as a whole. So your past incarnation, your future incarnations as well. And I want to make myself clear here, because I have to tell you that we are all here as spiritual beings to live fully this human experience, all right? And that's why it never made sense to me to choose one over the other, to choose the spiritual over the material or the material over the spiritual. But certain guides are assigned to us in order to help us achieve certain things our soul needs to undergo in order to grow. And I feel that for when it comes to you, Pile 4, you needed this guide to be part of your spiritual team in order to remind you always that you are the spirit being in this body as well, and to not forget about that, to not forget about your ethereal nature. When you become so unraveled by your human concerns or material needs that go nowhere, like kind of like with this card of the maze and the riddle, sometimes you may forget about that or stray a little bit away from your most higher divine spiritual purpose here and spiritual nature. And this guide is sort of the force that keeps you in track of that pulls you back in this spiritual dimension to your life, if you will. But that is basically what I'm seeing from this guide for you, Pile 4, and what I'm getting their energy actually feels like to me. So I hope that this reading could help you get to know better the incredible spirits that you have helping you by your side. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me, for making me your humble guide in this reading today. For those of you who have been curious to check out my tarot private services, the link to my online tarot shop will be down below in the description box. It will be a pleasure to be working with you. Otherwise, I hope to see you back soon again, and that you will come hang out with me on the channel again. Bye bye, guys.